Welcome to That's Why We're Friends.
The podcast where we laugh a lot, talk about real life, and hold on to faith through it all.
We're two friends navigating the oldish season of life and celebrating the kind of friendships that make it all a little easier.
So whether you're feeling overwhelmed, hopeful, or just need a laugh, this podcast is for you.
Pull up a chair and join the conversation. Hey, Kara.
Hey, Sarah.
So one of the reasons why we're friends is we both love Thrive Market. So I've been a member for a while now. I still love it. So imagine getting organic groceries, your pantry staples, even personal care, all at discounted members-only prices.
I know, it's wild. You sign up, use our special link, and your first order gets you 30% off, plus you pick out up to $60 in free items, automatically added at checkout on a pantry order of at least $25.
That's a really great deal. And once you're there, you're going to see the range of products they have is amazing. Over 5,000 from gluten-free and vegan to non-GMO and paleo options. They even have their own Thrive Market brand that saves you a ton. And I can personally recommend the Thrive Market Blonde Roast Coffee. I had that this morning. I have it almost every morning. And so there's so many great things to check out.
That sounds yummy. I save on every household order. Massive value with fast, carbon-neutral shipping. And if you don't recoup your membership fee in the first year, they give you the difference in Thrive Cash. Can you believe that?
I cannot. Thrive Cash is another bonus. So click our link, get 30% off and up to $60 in free products, and discover healthy shopping without compromise.
Seriously, try it. You're going to love it as much as we do. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Kara.
How's it going?
It's going really well.
Good.
I am excited for this new year and all the new things and all of the health stuff we're talking about this month. It just feels like a great, fresh, new start, new beginning to everything.
I know. I think so, too. The thing I struggle with the new year is how long it takes me to write the correct year. You know, when you're writing things.
Yeah.
It's just a constant. And I feel like in my journal, I will write the wrong year for 17 days, and then I'll be like, oh wait, I wrote the wrong year. I have to go back and scribble out, the previous 17 days so that I have the right year. Because when I die, I'm sure everyone's going to want to read it,
Yes.
It feels like people are really going to want to know what was in those journals.
Do we need to have one of those deals where if I die, you go to my house and get all my journals and burn them?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Okay, we haven't
or at least read through them
that.
and present which ones are presentable to our family.
I just burned mine.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. I can burn them.
Okay.
I can burn them. I do think we should have a deal for sure
that
things that need to be cleared out before our children make their way into the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And be sure the bed's made and the dishes are done before the church ladies show up.
Okay.
Great. All right. Well, today we have a guest.
I know, I'm so excited.
We love our episodes when we have guests, and we have Dr. Brooke Miller with us today.
Hello.
So welcome, Brooke.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We are super excited about having you. For those who don't know you, you are Dr. Brooke Miller. You're the owner and founder of PeakRx Physical Therapy, mother to 3, a wife of a software engineer. I don't think I knew that's what your husband did.
Yeah. I don't really know what it means. I just know that that's what he does.
I feel like most people who are married to some sort of IT people, they don't know what it means.
No,
You're
not
kind
at
of in the same boat with Paul.
I know now, but it took me several years and me deciding I wanted to know because I wanted to be able. So I do understand now, but for the longest time, he's an IT consulting, and that's still typically what I say. But I do, I could 85% get there.
Yeah, that's good. I don't know that anyone who is not in IT cares.
No,
No, for sure.
We want the IT people, but we don't really care what they do.
I don't even know what you do.
Yeah.
That's right.
You're a preacher's daughter.
I am.
That's always a fun story.
I am, yes.
And I said a pelvic floor therapist. And as the owner of PeakRx Physical Therapy and Wellness, you're passionate about helping people move, feel, and perform their best, no matter their stage of life. At PeakRx, Brooke and her team take a holistic approach to care, blending expertise in orthopedic therapy, pelvic health, and performance training to treat the whole person. They believe that true recovery goes beyond just helping women with their leaking pain and pressure, but it's about understanding your history, your sport, and your goals to create lasting change. sound right?
That sounds good. Man, that sounds perfect.
That sounds amazing. Did you write all that, or did your marketing person write that?
I think that was a marketing person that knows me really well.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah.
So, well, it gives us a good kind of introduction to today's topic, and we've kind of mentioned this last week, but this month we're really zooming in on women's health. And so just as we haven't really done topics like this, so we did want to kind of put a disclaimer, just not as like a warning, but just so you know what's coming, that we're going to be talking about women's health and women's bodies and body parts and all the lady parts and the lady words and all the things. And so just for whatever reason, whoever's listening, just so you know, like what's coming, that we're going to, speak medically and speak anatomically, about the body and the things that women face and go through. And so we've never done that before. So we want to just kind of like fair warning, like nothing crazy, but the real stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's exciting.
All that being said, then, cause my brain immediately goes to like pelvic floor therapy. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Because those are 3 words I've never put together, said in a sentence. So I'm excited today to just be a student and a learner and find out all the things. But that's my first of like a pelvic. You're a what?
A what?
Like you're an IT person. What?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yes. I'm needed, but don't tell me more about that.
That's funny. That's right. Funny. Well, you and I have known each other now for almost a year and a half. Mm-hmm. I started seeing you after my accident, which our listeners know about because it seems to be the topic of a lot of podcasts. And I just want to first, before we get started, just say thank you to you because you've been amazing. You were the first doctor that really saw me as a whole person and helped me not only get physically well, even though I think you and I could say I'm still broken in a lot of ways. I get broken week after week, don't I? I come in and see you're like one more thing that's injured.
We're tweaking
all the things. But you also helped me get through like the mental and emotional anguish kind of that came along with healing. And so just thank you for that because you mean the world to me and I'll never stop seeing you.
Yes.
So you can't retire.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So it's good. It's good. So give us kind of a little bit of an overview of who you are and why pelvic floor PT. Like what made you interested in that?
It's a great question. So the first thing is, as a physical therapist, you graduate as a generalist. So I knew how to help you if you have shoulder pain or knee pain. I know a little bit about neurology. I know a little bit about a lot. And then as you go into your career, you will generally specialize in what it is that you want to do. In PT school, I got 1 hour, 60 minutes of pelvic floor, what the pelvic floor is. And the pelvic floor is a group of muscles in our pelvis. We can get to that a little bit later, but it was like literally 60 minutes and it really grossed me out. It weirded me out at the time. I was like, that's weird. Why would anybody want to do that? They were talking a lot about actually men after prostate surgeries. It was kind of this thing that I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't really need that. I wanted to help people after surgery and with joint pain was kind of what I wanted to do. So I did that for many years. And then I got pregnant with my oldest son. He's now 9. And I was a CrossFitter at the time and was very passionate about having a pregnancy that was healthy and active. And I wanted a natural birth. And so I went gung-ho into that. And I started to realize nobody could really help answer any questions for me. Things like, well, should I be doing this when I was pregnant? I got kind of a mixed bag of advice. Well, if you've done it before, you can do it. And I was like, well, I'm like climbing ropes and, things where I was like, I don't know about that. And then I was like, well, don't get your heart rate up over 140. And I was like, well, I mean, going up the stairs sometimes at that point, right? So that kind of I just remember being like, and I don't like when I don't know about something. And then fast forward, I delivered, I had my baby, and then the first 6 weeks, it was a mess. I mean, I had a lot of pain. I tore really bad, and everyone, it's normal. I was released, great, you can have sex and all that. And so my husband and I went to go have sex for the first time, and we could not do it. It hurt so bad, couldn't do it at all. It scared me, it scared him. And we tried again. It was just terrible. It was so painful. And when I went back, she just said, oh, you're just anxious. Just maybe drink some wine next time before. Gosh. And I remember being depressed. I didn't really realize it at the time, but I was like, you just want me to drink? And it wasn't it was just all she had for me at that point. And I knew it. I knew at that time there was something there that wasn't going to be the answer, but I just didn't know what to do. There was no pelvic floor PTs in our area. So I just was like, all right, I'll figure this out. And so I went and took a course. Meanwhile, my husband and I are like limping along, trying to figure this out. I didn't know yet what to do. But anyways, I quit my job, started PeakRx, and it started off being, I knew that there was this gap to fill. It was very mortifying for me. It was my husband is so patient and kind, but that was hard. That was a hard year for us. And just knowing, and then looking back on it, it was an easy fix. It was a very simple fix that would have taken no time at all. And anyway, so that's kind of why I'm here now. And so as you kind of dive into it, you just realize there's women and men, both of all ages, that I always say, I help you if you have any issues with peeing, pooping, or sex, is my like elevator pitch of what I do. And so that's where it started, and 9 years later, here we are, and now this is all I talk about, and I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I think most people who end up doing something that they're passionate about, when it comes from a personal story, it's so much better anyway, because it's like you've already been through that.
100%.
And so you can relate to people for sure.
100%.
What do you think it is that, number one, why do you think a lot of women haven't heard of pelvic floor therapy, and what is it that keeps women and men from coming to see you?
I think there's a few things. Obviously, number one, I mean, even when I say peeing and pooping and sex, people's eyes get wide and, people get a little uncomfortable with that. Yeah. I mean, if you imagine how you were raised and what you were taught of how do you talk about these things. So there's just a stigma around having issues with that. So much of the time, and even from like a religion standpoint, like the way that you were growing up religiously, I see a lot of people who have pain with intercourse. It stems from what was I taught from, like, is this a right or wrong type thing, right? So there's a lot kind of there. So I think there's a stigma around it. I'd be interested in you guys of what your mom told you about those things, right? I know for me, and she knows it now. Like being a preacher's daughter, if I ever had a question about it, I was actually the 4th out of 5 kids too. So my mom delegated out information. So it's like my mom didn't really talk to me about that stuff. I had to go to like my older sister to get the information about sex and when I started my period and things like that. That was just the nature of how I grew up.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you feel about that stuff? What did my mom or my grandmother tell me about it? And then I think the other side of it is when you think about, I have issues with peeing, what doctor do I ask about that?
Right.
Is it my OB? Is it a urologist? I poop in my pants, and that's very common. I know it's weird, but it's so common. Or I have gas incontinence or whatever. What doctor do you even see? And if you think about these doctors, they're very, very siloed out to very plainly like their holes, right? Yeah. Like what hole do I, and they don't really talk to the other one. And so if it's not in their lane, they don't know. And so for them, there's nobody that governs the whole thing, which is the pelvic floor is the muscle that kind of ties it all together. And so on average, women will go see 7 doctors for something before they're referred to for a pelvic floor PT. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. I don't know. It's not this, so you're fine. Your blood work looks normal, whatever. I get a lot of referrals from dermatologists, actually. So women will go thinking they have like a skin issue, itchy, burny, scratchy down there. And it's your pelvic floor. And so thankfully with the internet and social media, I think people are knowing more about it. Sure. But I think even doctors, and they are given, I was given 60 minutes.
Yeah. And
the same thing with MDs. It's just not something that you really know a lot about.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so interesting to me.
Yeah.
That I can't imagine. I feel like you would feel so defeated if you've been to 7 doctors and no one's helped you.
No one's helped you, and your partner doesn't know, your partner might be mad at you. I mean, you can see how there's a lot of emotion that ties with this too, right? Yeah. Like, who do I ask? I'm embarrassed. I don't talk about it with my friends or whatever. Yeah. So it's a tricky place to be.
Yeah, because to your point, I mean, that whole area, it is just very taboo, private, gross, like just any of the words that you can think of that. And so it totally makes sense why there would be this just people suffering in silence and, you know, quietly. So it is great to be able to have conversations.
And I think too, on the other hand though, there is a group of people that they don't get the information because they're embarrassed. But then you have almost the opposite problem where you have people who have dealt with it. They're very vocal, specifically like peeing in your pants. It's sometimes like a badge of honor that people have. And they're very vocal. They laugh about it all the time. Oh, we pee in our pants all the time. I wear black leggings to CrossFit. And then it becomes this thing that's talked about so much and normalized so much that then it's just, oh, this is just how it is. It's normal. So it's actually this weird in between where it's like, I get that. And I'm happy you're talking about it. But you don't want somebody to feel like, oh, this is just kind of what I get because I either had babies or I'm going through menopause or whatever, right? Yeah. So it's either not talked about enough or I think talked about too much or so casually that we miss out on the healing that you can have.
Yeah. It's talked about as if this is just going to happen and it's just a part of life. And so you don't even think, I should go find out about it. This was just, I've been waiting for it. Here it is. And now it's my time.
I'm experiencing
and my turn.
It. Yep. That's exactly right.
So true.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we're, 10 to 15 years older than you. And my mom didn't talk to me at all about sex or my body. I remember when I started my period that day, she said, do you have any questions? I was like, nope, I'm good. Like, I got it. I feel like I've learned everything I need to know from all my dance team partners. I'm good, and she was like, okay, and so then it was like, that was it. That was the conversation. So yeah. Did you have any sort of sex talk?
A little bit more. I mean, there was a book.
A book
slid across the table.
That was definitely a kid's book because I remember just some of like the illustrations and stuff. That is the only real memory I have of like the sex stuff. The period stuff I can remember. There was like in third, fourth grade, they like, separated the boys and the girls. And I remember coming home with all these things and playing around with them and thinking like, oh, this is horrible. Because, the maxi pads were like so it was like a pillow. I was like, oh, I can take a little nap on this. It was like, I decided right then and there, I'm never going that route. And so I did feel because my mom had a bit of a traumatic experience the first time when she started her period. And so that ended up benefiting me because she was very helpful.
That's great that she wanted to kind of protect you from that.
Yes.
That's good.
And so that was great. And the sex stuff, I remember asking her questions at time. Like I heard the word like contraception on like a TV commercial. I remember asking her, and then I remember not understanding exactly like the anatomy of, babies and stuff. And so I think there was an open dialogue. I don't remember like the first moment I became aware of something. And so I do think maybe there was some sort of something from an early age.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think we want to probably get to the point of what a lot of women may be experiencing that are oldish, that are our age, which is, issues with incontinence, bladder, sex pain, who knows, right? There's a huge gamut of stuff. But I want to read you, my mom gave me this book called Women's Choices in Natural Healing. She found it when she was cleaning some stuff out. It was written in 1997, which I was like, oh, that's not very old. And Sarah was like, no, that's like 28 years ago.
That's when I graduated from high school.
Oh, yeah, that actually that is pretty old. So I just went straight to the area about incontinence and bladder. And it has some stuff that maybe you might say is true and some that is not. So I'll just read a little section of it. It says, if you are struggling with incontinence, give your bladder muscles a squeeze. Learn to isolate and strengthen the pelvic floor muscles by exercising them. While urinating, you should stop your urine stream and squeeze so that you feel where those muscles are. Once you're familiar with the muscles at the neck of the bladder that control urine flow, you can exercise them. These exercises are called Kegels, named after the doctor who invented them. Squeeze these muscles and hold them tight several times a day while driving or sitting at your desk or watching TV, for example.
Or doing a podcast.
I'm doing them right now and no one even knows. Hold each squeeze for about 10 seconds and then relax for 10 seconds and repeat. After you've learned Kegels, you shouldn't do them with a full bladder. Otherwise, you can increase your chance of getting an infection. The goal is to do 6 to 10 at a time, about half a dozen times a day. So we're talking about 60 to 100
all day.
a day, all day long.
It's your full-time job.
The beauty is that no one has a clue that you're doing Kegels. You could be sitting in a meeting doing Kegels and no one could tell.
That's awesome.
So let's talk about the meeting Kegel.
The meeting Kegel. Yeah, I think first off, stuff like that is, I always say it's not right or wrong or, excuse me, good or bad. Well, it's good, better, best is generally anything that comes my way. I think that's a really good place to start. I think that book calls it what it is. Hey, we have control over it. We know whatever, we have these muscles. And most people think if I leak, it must be because I'm weak most of the time. The muscle isn't squeezing to close my urethra, so I'm leaking. That might be the case for you. But what we actually see is it's just so much more complicated than that. Over 70% of women actually have the opposite problem. We actually have too much tension in our pelvic floor. So if you can imagine like your jaw or your neck, right? Those are muscles, and our pelvic floor is a muscle. It's muscles just like your quad or your bicep. And so you can have muscles that are too tight. They have knots in it. They've got trigger points that need to be rubbed out or whatever. So if you are in that bucket, which is a lot of people, I have young kids, I'm stressed, I work out a lot. Generally, weakness is not going to be your issue, but maybe a pelvic floor that's too stiff or too tight. And so this is where just blanket statement of do Kegels can actually be detrimental for people. And detrimental is a big word, that it's not that serious, but it's just not what you need. Where I need to show you that you can have length to your pelvic floor, and maybe we need to get it to be more coordinated or in balance with other things. And then I think the other thing too is, well, kind of just back to that. I always say, when people say, my doctor told me to do Kegels, and it's always at stoplights. It's like at stoplights and they're doing it. And it's like, okay, great. But, you know, as an exerciser, would you do 60 squats a day? Every day?
No,
you wouldn't. I mean, 60 squats at a time, maybe, but do you see how that, for any muscle group, like that's just a huge dose. And so even then, even if you do need Kegels, I'm not going to give you that many.
Yeah.
And then lastly, it's just your pelvic floor is more than just the thing that closes your sphincter. It is responsible for arousal and maintaining or achieving an erection and an orgasm. It helps to work with your diaphragm and your core so that you can get up out of bed or hold posture and things like that. And so the big thing is while yes, maybe I need to give somebody like you Kegels for a little bit, it is a full body problem. If you are leaking, most likely we have weak glutes. Our feet are flat when we go to move, where it's just bigger than just Kegels. And so that's the thing that it makes me sad is people are like, well, I did Kegels.
Right.
They didn't work. So I'm going to go get a bladder surgery. And I'm like, hold on. That's like saying my shoulder hurts. Well, just do bicep curls for a month. That doesn't work. Let's go replace your shoulder. It's like, oh my gosh, absolutely not. Like, why do we not look at our body the same way? Right? Like it's more complicated.
Yeah. What are some early warning signs that a woman needs pelvic floor therapy?
That's a great question. So kind of back to our conversation about being young and learning, my favorite thing, and hopefully maybe somebody listening today, is let's talk to our daughters about normal periods and normal. Well, again, what is normal? So my thing is you should be able to insert anything you want into your vagina and it not hurt. And so as we're young girls, it starts, I know, just bear with me.
Like anything you want.
Anything you want. That's why there's no judgment in my office, whatever you want. But we start with tampons. And so this is where a big group of women that I see are women that either are just getting married or starting to be sexually active. They're in their early 20s or whatever. They cannot have sex because it hurts so bad. And when we talk about their history, they were never able to put tampons in. They were embarrassed to talk to their mom about it, or their mom just said, well, just use pads and move on. That is a sign that something is going on. It should not hurt. Pap smears and speculums should not hurt. So if you're somebody who crawls up the table or has to take Valium before you go see your OB for a pelvic exam, those are signs that we have something going on. And again, as a young girl, maybe we don't care, but as somebody who wants to have sex for the first time, and then we don't need to just grit our teeth and take it for a year, 2 years, 5 years, my entire sex life, which is what women will sometimes have to endure. So that is first and foremost, is please talk to your daughters about how was that? Did that feel okay? And I'm not saying it can't be a little, bumps and bruises along the road, but you should be working towards a pain-free insertion.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Other things are, like incontinence. We actually have a high number of girls pre-baby. They're generally very active, like cheerleaders and gymnasts, who will have incontinence when they land, like high impact. They'll pee in their pants with that. So anytime you have issues with peeing, pooping, and sex, like that's kind of where we start, right? Like any kind of whispers of that, I think is generally a good place to start. And then obviously in and around having a baby, that's going to be a big assault to that part of our body. And so I'm very just passionate about, if you have the means to get with a pelvic floor PT at that point to minimize your injury around birth, because that's where a lot of our problems do stem from.
Yeah.
Is constipation a part of that list, or is it more the opposite?
Great question. Yes. So we talk a lot about things coming out when they shouldn't.
Okay.
Peeing, pooping, gas. But we don't think about it when things don't come out when they should. So constipation is a big one where people, and hear me, it's very nutritionally based, but our muscles should be able to open up and allow ourselves to void. So a part of your intake paperwork when you come in to see a pelvic floor PT is we ask about all the habits. How often are you pooping? How easy is it? Are you straining? How often are you going? What does it look like? Look at your poop. It should look like frozen yogurt or bananas, not hard, lumpy, like lots of lines in it, or like little pebbles, or obviously diarrhea. So that's a good thing to look at.
So many firsts on the podcast
I know,
today.
it's so
first
fun.
time to talk about looking at our poop.
But so
Brooke and I have talked about poop so much.
a lot. But so many people are like, oh, well, I have IBS. And it's just, and I'm not saying pelvic floor PT is going to cure every person's constipation problems, but it can absolutely be a mechanical problem. Chronic hemorrhoids, lots of hemorrhoids or hernias. It's all, all of it can be it. So
yeah,
it's real fun.
So tied into all that, like what are common misconceptions you see specifically from women in perimenopause and menopause about their pelvic floor health?
Number one, what we said earlier, it's just coming for me. Leaking, prolapse. So prolapse is when your organs in your pelvis sit lower than they did originally. So this generally manifests itself in people feeling heaviness in their vagina. They feel like a tampon's falling out. I see a bulge, and they think their bladders are falling out of them. And my mom had it. My grandmother had it. They all had the surgery for it. It is just a matter of time. And that is just so far from the truth. So that's number one, is that it's coming for us and we have to deal with it. I think the other one is just like, the only thing that I can do is have surgery. We actually see that pelvic floor surgeries are really not that good. Yeah. We have a really high fail rate for those surgeries. And what is really effective is therapy. First and foremost, you don't even know what your pelvic floor is. Right. Let me introduce you to her. She's wonderful and beautiful, and you need to know her. That's so important. And that can move mountains for people. So let me educate you on it. What do you do for a living? What type of exercise do you like to do? Let me show you how your pelvic floor should be working for you in all these situations. This is when people, it's wonderful. Like, people come in peeing in their pants or whatever, and then it's like, great, all of a sudden their sex life is better. They're having orgasms, and they haven't for a while. And so it's just so fun to see that there's many fruits that can come from the labor of pelvic floor PT. And so again, it's just like, well, I can only have a surgery. Or it's just, now I'm in menopause. Well, sex just kind of hurts. I need more lube. I don't really want to do it anymore. Now we just stop having sex. And that's sad.
Yeah.
Right? And
well,
I don't
think... That's not good for any marriage.
It's not. And I think that when you look at people in their terminal decade or their last decade of life, most people want to continue to be having sex. And this is actually, I think the last misconception is it's only for women. Men have pelvic floors too. And most of the time for men, it manifests itself in sexual dysfunction. So erectile dysfunction, pain with ejaculation, inability to maintain an erection. And that's hard for men. It's hard for everybody, but that's a hard thing to go. And we have, we'll just take Viagra, Cialis, and it's like, No, like if you're somebody who wants to holistically look at their body, there is so much to do, so much on the table before we have to go to a surgery or a medication for something.
Yeah. I know for me personally, I think it was maybe like 6 or 8 months ago, I don't know why you had me do this because I had no issues that I felt like, but you had me doing this thing where I was standing and like breathing and blowing out air and sucking my stomach. Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
Sure.
You can describe it better, but it was like these like lower abdominal muscles, right? And I remember thinking, why? And you were like, you're going to need this later in life, like when you sneeze or cough or whatever. And it's funny now because now I realize that when I sneeze, I'm like, oh, hold that, hold those muscles in. So for a woman who is in her oldish years that feels like she has no issues, let's call it no issues, what would be important about just going to see a pelvic floor PT now and getting ahead of the game?
That's a great question. I think traditional PT wouldn't know what to do with that.
Sure.
You have a problem and you fix it. I think my practice in particular, and a lot of practices in general, we're looking at the world as a whole is changing to more of an offensive. Let's be offensive about things, right?
Yeah.
People are more, understanding if I catch things early, it's way easier than, later. So absolutely. I think that coming in, let me introduce you to your pelvic floor. Let me show you what's normal, like what's ideal. Are you ideal or are you not? If not, great. Here's a couple things to get you ideal. Go do those things. Hey, let's talk about, we know you're this age. When your mom went into menopause, she was this age. These are the things that she had. Let me go ahead and teach you some things that you can do. And most of the time, it's rarely Kegels. It's generally, hey, when I do Pilates, I'm going to just breathe this way. When we talk a lot about breathing, our pelvic floor is a part of our deep core. So core work, breathing, posture, all of it can be, I would say your pelvic floor can either work for you or it can work against you. You can think about it or you cannot. And every time you cough or sneeze, you can choose to let it be a part of the party or not. And so this is just where it's like, I can't track that. I can't study it. But yes, I hope that you're somebody who I don't have to see you in 20 years because you have prolapse because you're doing things the right way now. Right.
Well, you're still going to be seeing me in 20
maybe.
years.
We'll just be talking about your oldish knees or your shoulders.
We're already doing that.
From all of that, is there anything, and the answer to this question might be no, is there anything that you could articulate to someone like through a microphone on a podcast that would be something that would be helpful of like, if you're doing this way, here's how you could adjust it. That's just like a tip or, anything that is able to be explained in that way.
I don't want to reduce it down to let me teach you how to do this thing and do it. From like, I do think teaching somebody how to move their pelvic floor through a full range of motion is probably one of the most valuable things I can do for you. That is really hard to do via a microphone.
Sure.
So where my brain goes though too is something that I talk through anybody who's in my office is actually like, how many times a day do you pee? Or how much time in between pees do you?
This is where it gets fun.
Go.
Yeah, I would say it depends on how distracted I am by other things.
Okay.
So if I'm like head down in school studying and I'm in a good solid, I might have 3 or 4 hours where I don't move because I'm just,
You're focused.
But if I'm about to go to bed, like I feel like I have nighttime like pee anxiety where I could be like 6 times in the hour before I go to bed and then also right before I go to bed. Or when I used to do yoga all the time, I could go. I feel like that's my superpower, which I know you're immediately going to say that's not my superpower. It's terrible, but that I can always pee a little.
Sure.
And so I would say if I'm thinking about it, I can go. But if I'm doing something else, like I can get myself through a 3-hour movie if I had to. So that's not really answering your question, but it could be 10 times a day, or it could be 4 times a day, depending on the day. I think I have a lot of mental, where it's like if I think about it, I have to go. And I'm going to feel like I have to go even if I don't.
And you kind of hit the nail on the head of most of the time. It's more of a mental thing. Absolutely. Okay. Versus like people are like, no, I have a small bladder. And I'll say, well, are there times where you can go? And they're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, well, if you really had a small bladder, you couldn't go that long, sometimes of the day or not.
Is that real? A small bladder versus a regular
bladder? It can be. It's very, very, very rare.
Okay.
And that's what most people blame it on it. But if we look back at it, they had moms who were going, hey, pee just in case, go pee just in case. And so it's a very conditioned thing. Okay. I know I'm going to bed. It's like Pavlov's dog. I see yes, running water or the Target shoe aisle for whatever reason is like a big trigger for people,
That's
right?
What I remember the day that we were talking about like how many times I go pee or the length in between, and I said, well, of course I went like right before I got in the shower. You were like, that's a problem. I'm like, what do you mean that's a problem? You have to pee before you get in the shower. You're like, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
You don't have to pee before you get in the shower.
Why would you have to pee before you get in the shower?
Because then you get in, the water's hitting you, and then you feel like you have to pee. But even if you just like peed 45 minutes before, she's like, no, you can wait 2 more hours. You don't need to pee right when you get in the shower.
Because,
you don't feel that when you get in the shower?
No, but I'm afraid that tomorrow I will.
Now she's like, now?
Great. Thanks,
Cool.
Kara.
Thanks for that little thing in my brain. So I think what I'm kind of getting at is some of the best, just very quick advice I can give people is what we call bladder hygiene or bladder habits. And busting through some of these myths around, do I need to pee? Do I not? Whatever. So you should be able to go 3 to 4 hours in between every single void every single time.
Okay.
No matter what. So they're like, well, I drink a lot of water. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I think that, so if you do the math, that is 7 times a day.
Okay.
And so you're going to have people who are listening who are like, oh yeah, I got that. And you're going to have others who are like, oh my gosh. I mean, people are peeing 15, 16, 20 times a day, every hour. And most of the time it's around certain activities. Bedtime is a big one. So it's like, no, you get 1 pee right before you go to bed. Right? And you're like, I can't do it. I promise.
I have to go right now.
And so what we're looking at is we're looking at just it messes up. We have these like deep reflexes of our muscle. I'm not going to bore you with the physiology of it, but generally when I'm treating somebody for a problem, they most likely have some issues around the way that they pee. And I cannot treat your pelvic floor if you are also somebody who pees 6 times before you go to bed. And that's a big one of when you're 80 years old, it's only going to get harder. And there is a little bit of like age-related changes do happen. And so while you're good and feeling your best, go ahead and get on what the normal trajectory is so that, again, you're setting yourself up. So 7 times a day, you should pee for at least 8 Mississippis. So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. So you hear like, I can always pee.
Yeah.
It's most likely like, oh, I just kind of dribbled a little bit. And it's like, yeah, you always have urine in your bladder. Everybody always has urine in their bladder. But it should be at a minimum of 8 seconds. And it should be every 3 to 4 times. And that is men too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know now if it's an hour before bed, I'm like, can't go. I'm like, I gotta go. But I'm like, no, because I need to go again in an hour before I go to sleep. I'm just going to hold that until, gotta hold it. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. The number of times I think about Brooke every day.
I said, just like on your shoulder. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like you are like the little angel on my shoulder all day, every day. Yeah, the pee angel.
Pee angel.
So then if going by that, then would you say it's normal to wake up and pee once in the night?
I will only give you 1 time a night if you are over the age of 65.
65? Bro. I've peed once a night since I think I was born.
I know. Since I was born. But wouldn't you love to just sleep through the night and not have to wake up?
Occasionally it happens.
Mm-hmm. And that's a wonderful thing, right?
It is a wonderful thing.
Yep. And I always say the day begets the night. So fix the day first. So you need to set a little timer. And what's going to happen is you're going to get the urge to pee. You're going to go to bed and you're going to get the urge to pee. But you need to go, no, Brooke told me I do not have to pee. Okay. And this is where I say, just try to hit the snooze button if you can on that signal, right? Okay. I always say, think about like when you buy a new pair, like a shirt that has a tag in it. You know, sometimes you'll like feel it and it's weird or annoying. But then if you give it 10 or 15 minutes, you don't feel it anymore. The tag is still there. Okay. Your brain has chosen to not tell you about that signal anymore. So what happens year over year since we were tiny girls, we are told you need to go to the bathroom every time you get in the car or before we do this. Right. Our brains will go, you have to pee because she normally pees at this time. Yeah. There's a thing called key and door syndrome, and it's generally when women, or men too, but mainly women, when we get home and we put our key in the door, it's like, or the garage door opens. Women, that's where most people who are dealing with, it's called urinary urgency. They're like, if I will pee in my pants, if I cannot, I have to, like flying in hot to their bathroom. And so alongside pelvic floor range of motion and, all these other things. We just have to try to interrupt those signals. So I have one lady who I just have her park on her street instead of in her garage. And that gave her eyes or whatever, interrupted the rhythm enough where she was able to walk coolly and calmly to the bathroom without being, doing the dance and having to, and that's where it is people will generally, if you have urgency now, it's just generally, it's a matter of time before you start having incontinence with it is what the worry is with it.
That's interesting.
I know.
Okay. So
This is great.
so much information. When a woman goes to see a pelvic floor therapist, I mean, I know you can probably only speak to your practice, but as a general rule, what should people expect at their first appointment?
That's a great question. So first and foremost, your paperwork is very robust. It should be, because I would rather you answer the questions about your sex life and your poop habits on your own time without me having to look you in the eye.
You think people are going to be more honest that way too?
100%. Yeah. And they're going to say, and the way that we word it, because a lot of times I'll say, do you have any issues with bladder? And they're like, no. And then I'll say, oh, you don't have it. You ask these questions and they're like, oh, well, but I pee in my pants 7 times a day. And I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, that's normal. Right. So even the way that we word it is in a way where people are like, I had no idea this was with this. And so it saves a lot of time too. So generally you have a lot of paperwork that kind of goes through all the screening type things. That allows me to kind of prepare for you to understand, okay, I see that this, it helps me kind of focus our appointment. A lot of talking. I think it's important to really dive into your story as opposed to just, all right, let's do Kegels, right? How many babies have you had? Did you have any birth injury? Was there forceps or vacuums? All of that tells a story, especially in the menopause age woman, of why are you dealing with what you're dealing with now, is the history of when did you first start being sexually active? How are your periods? Blah, blah, blah. So we talk a lot. Then we look at the pelvic floor. We can do this a lot of different ways. And I always say to clients, you are in charge of this. You get to kind of decide what this looks like. Most women who've been to the OB have no problem with our exam, but every once in a while, I can see how that can be a little, it's obviously a sensitive area. So what we're trained to do is we're trained to evaluate the muscles in and around the pelvis. So we can do this externally with your clothes on. I'm able to kind of check some things. I can do it declothed, but externally. So I'm able to look at the area and have you do some things and just how the tissue moves. But what I'm real good at is just an internal pelvic floor exam. So it's very gentle. It's not like speculum and legs up and lights. It's really cozy or try to make it as cozy as possible. But there with a gloved finger, I'm able to insert vaginally. We can do rectal exams as well, but I'm able to get my literally hands on the tissue. Yeah. So if you're somebody with pain with intercourse, I can go in and they're like, oh my gosh, that's it right there. Okay, well, this is this muscle or it's that. We check strength, we check range. I have you cough, I have you laugh, I have you sneeze. We do it in standing. If you're somebody who leaks with lifting weights, great. I'm on the ground and I am figuring it out for you of is it a strength problem? Is it a weakness problem? We evaluate your spine. We evaluate the whole body at some point too. Mm-hmm. And our big, for the first appointment, it's just, I just want to tell you a story of your body of why are you dealing with what you're dealing with versus it's your age, it's this or it's that. It's no, this is why you're weak here, you're tight here, you're confused here, whatever. And then at that point, depending on what your goals are, we just come up with the plan. Do I just need to see you one time to give you a couple of things to do? Great, we can do that. Or, hey, I need to see you this often or whatever. So we just come up with a plan at that point. Most people leave being like, okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah. And normally pretty informational, eye-opening about their body. I had no idea. Yeah. Because you'll ask somebody to do a Kegel and they're, you should be able to sit in a meeting and me not know that you're doing Kegels. But 98% of people, when I have them do it in the office, are doing it 100% wrong. Yeah. They are not doing it the right way. Mm. And they're pushing instead of pulling, or their eyebrows are going up, whatever it is. And so just let me introduce you.
Eyebrows play a big part in the whole
curling game. Of the toes or whatever you need to do. So yeah, so it's hey, do you see, this is what you think is normal, but let me show you what it should look like. Okay, and then what's the plan to get you there?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Do you see women have a lot of success when you give them a plan and they adhere to it?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it's now I think important is like what's success. I mean, I have people who I don't get them. They might leak a little bit still, right? But we come up with a plan, right? Of like, I'm going to get you this far.
Sure.
And our big thing, I mean, you know, it is like, if you aren't somebody who is regularly working on your body, getting strong, jumping, running, I don't care how old you are. Every woman needs to be training like an athlete. And most of the time, the thing that keeps them from doing that is they are fearful of peeing on themselves or whatever. And so my thing is, let me clear that up for you. Let's get you back to doing all these things. And it's like, and the cool thing about pelvic floor PT is there's so many things that we can kind of add to help you to, if leaking is the problem or prolapse, right? We have things like pessaries and like gadgets, I guess, that can help you to be dry. And so it's so cool because it might not, it's like, hey, maybe I use this one time a month or whatever. So you leave ideally peeing, pooping, and sex, doing all the things that you want to do.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so for women who are listening that maybe feel hopeless or embarrassed, you know, about their symptoms, what's your encouragement?
I hope that you would go and find somebody who can help you with it. And now, I mean, more and more, there's more and more pelvic floor PTs, like they're popping up everywhere now. And so it's not a matter of, I mean, we do it virtually. Like I have somebody in Houston and I mean, like you can do a lot. The access is there now. And so my thing is just find somebody local and ask and go and see kind of what is out there and if that makes sense for you, but not feeling like I have to live with that.
Okay. So is the like one piece of advice people could take away to increase their pelvic floor health today just is the time between trips to the bathroom, or is there something bigger than that?
Kara, it's don't pee.
Don't pee. Don't ever
Stop
pee. You're not allowed to pee.
Well, no, you want to pee. Trust me. You don't want to ever not pee.
No pee. I know. That's right. You can go too far the other way too. I think honestly right now, 80% of people have too much tension in their pelvic floors. So what I say often is relax your butthole. So right now.
I say that to people all the time too, but I think I mean it in a different way.
I think you're saying you are. Never mind.
Yes. Take a big deep breath. Relax down there. And people are like, I don't know what that means. I'm like, well, just relax your butthole. You know where your butthole is. You can relax it. And generally, you're somebody who you probably have jaw pain and you're tight here. So it's like what we see is I just need you to have more range of motion down there and more awareness. Just think about it. You can Google, you can go to my YouTube page. I've got a million videos of ways to connect to your pelvic floor.
Which is so interesting. I didn't know that until last night when I was having a conversation with my husband. He was like, oh, she has a great YouTube channel. I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, because it's like, go just watch. And it's always good, better, best. Best is come see me, 100%. Sure. Come see me. If you're local, I'm the best person for you. And I'm very confident with that. Better is go see somebody else. And then good is watch my, like, it doesn't have to be mine. There's apps, there's programs. There's one called Buff Muff. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's a whole pelvic floor, like,
just an
app that you can download. And it's all, videos that but I mean, it's out there. Go do it. And anything is better than nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and the thing I love about having established a relationship with you, when I came to you thinking I needed pelvic floor therapy and because of my accident, right? I thought, well, I'm going to do this for 3 or 4 months and then I'm going to be done and we're done. And the thing about having you though, is I think because I'm oldish and because of the way I work out, my body just hurts all the time. Right. And, having that relationship now, I mean, you speak to everything. Like, so it's obviously you're a PT of my whole body.
Yes.
But you've helped me to understand how important the pelvic floor is in relation to everything else. Yeah. Right. And so it's just, I don't know. I've been amazed. I used to honestly think PT was kind of just a joke. And I think I thought that because there's just these big like chop shops where people just get run through the mill and, I don't want to speak badly about any physical therapist, but there are places where people work 100%. And they just like schedule 5 clients in 1 hour. And, you and I sit down, we talk about our weekend, we talk about our families. Like it's a relationship and then we fix the things. And I just like I said, I will never stop seeing you. You can't retire until I die. So just, we're there now.
Perfect.
So I just think, it's just good to have somebody like that on your team.
No, I think so too. And I think nothing against, I worked at a place like that, but it was, I mean, for pelvic floor PT, that just cannot work.
Sure.
I cannot see, but just with the way the world is and insurance reimbursement and all that, like places are put into a corner where they
Right.
have to operate that way.
Right.
And so our practice is, I always tell, I'm very transparent. Like you know, like you don't come in and I watch you do your stuff. It's,
Yeah.
Kara, this is what you need this week. Go do it. You're an adult. Like, and it is, how many times are you peeing? How are you breathing? Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about this. And it's like small little tweaks and changes to your life
Yeah.
that I think is what then is going to change you forever versus I do these 3 sets of 10 or whatever here, and then I don't ever do them again. It's
Right.
like, what a waste of time.
Right.
So absolutely. My encouragement to everybody is to find somebody that you vibe with too. It's where I want you to be so comfortable with me, sharing with me things. It doesn't have to be on day one. But do you see how you need to feel comfortable? You need to feel confident in this person. And it might not be me. Like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. So it's just finding somebody that you feel like is empathetic and gets you and understands and can get you to where you want to go. Doesn't judge you on anything. Like, whatever you want to do. Like I said, whatever you want to do, I'll talk to you about. Nothing is too much information. And I think that's really it, is find that person who you can connect with and then making sure that they're going to fight for you and get you to where you want to go.
Yeah. Well, and it's super important to be comfortable. I mean, it's a very intimate, like, appointment. It's not,
A little bit.
yeah, you're not just getting your toenails painted. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in there.
So true.
So, yeah. And you have how many people that work in your office? Practitioners?
4.
Okay. So there's 4 of you, including you.
Yes, including
Okay,
me. 4 of
okay.
us. Yep. They're all the very best at what they do.
I'm sure they are. I've never seen any of them, but I mean, I've seen them, but I've never seen them.
Generally, once you get with somebody,
Sure.
it's not one, I'm not going to
Right.
pass you around. You kind of get to know each other a
Stick
little
with
bit. Yeah.
Nah, I don't think anyone else could handle me.
No, I don't think so either.
I'm a lot, right, Sarah?
What?
Sorry?
Sorry, I think we had a technical difficulty. I missed that last part.
Okay, well, how can people connect with you?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram. So I have 2 actually places. I have my Dr. Brooke Miller is mine. It's professional. It's like my professional but personal account. And then just at PeakRx, PeakRx are our 2. They're both, we put out a lot of content, just trying to get the word out and things that you can do at home and stuff like that. So that's going to be the easiest. And where we try to have fun on there too, make it not be so stiff. So that's kind of the best way, kind of from afar. And then if you ever need anything, our website, peakrxtherapy.com, is a good place to start too.
Great. So you're in the Denton County area.
Yes.
So if people are listening and you live in that area, but you said you see people online, huh?
I see people online. Yeah. Because a lot of times it's, we can kind of talk through some stuff. And then a lot of the times I'll help connect them with somebody.
Good.
That's local if I need like the internal exam that they'll go and then they can kind of talk with me if they're wanting to work specifically with us.
Awesome. You have any other burning questions?
Like peeing, like burning when you pee?
Oh no, you need an antibiotic for that.
I know.
Yeah.
I do have one. We had a question from a fan come in last night.
Oh, perfect.
And I mean, it might have been at my dinner table.
Lots of fans.
So Brooke is affectionately referred to as Dr. B in our house.
Okay.
We talk about her a lot around here. I think my husband enjoys the fact that I've gone to see her, and it's all good around here. But the question that we kind of came up with for you that we feel like it's just, it needs to be answered for the people is, why do you drive around with an open coffee mug in your car?
Oh, that's you.
It's me.
You're infamous.
I would say like,
You've
why
seen her on...
No, we've talked about, I've heard the topic.
open cup confidence. I think that life is meant to be lived confidently. And what better way than with coffee that could spill or could not?
Do you have lots of splatters in your car?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Awesome.
And we've just we have realized that generally in a relationship, it's not 100%, but you have one person in the relationship, like a partnership, that is an open cup confidence type of person. And then the other one who it makes them want to die.
Yeah.
If that happens.
Yeah.
And that's what John is like, what are you doing?
Okay, so it really bothers your husband.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, well that's interesting.
So is it just like a ceramic, like
It's
coffee
just,
mug?
I just don't like to keep up with lids and
Or do
I
you
just,
have like an actual
No.
like insulated and you just don't, you're just
no,
lipless?
it is just the coffee cup that I was drinking just
Okay.
goes into the car with me.
And
it-
people tag her constantly in their open mug
Open-
posts.
yep,
And
Yeah,
it
I don't-
really kind of hurts my heart every time I see it.
It's insane. Now it's just kind of a funny thing. But when I first did it, and I don't even know why, it was just one day I don't know why. I can't even remember. But now I don't think I've had more engagement on something. It made so many people mad.
Oh, it made people mad.
It made them like die. And they're like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Okay."
You're like, you need to relax your butthole.
Yeah. You need to relax
your butthole, please. Yeah, that's so good. Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we close every episode by talking about how we're going to enjoy the life God's given us. And so, do you want to go first, Sarah?
Yeah, my answer I feel like is going to be a little boring for a little while of just enjoying like this kickoff to the semester of school and kind of a new season in my schooling and the home stretch. I graduate the end of this year, and so, but I enjoy it, and so. Yeah, just getting through the next 8 weeks is a little bit intense, but it's good.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
I'm enjoying it, and I'm thankful for those 3 to 4 hour blocks of school time where I don't think about peeing, because those are helping me out.
That's right. More study time. That's exactly right. That's
awesome.
How about you?
We actually have kind of a quiet weekend, and I'm super looking forward to it because it's not very normal for us to not have at least one thing, but we kind of don't have a lot of things, and it's great. So I'm gonna enjoy that and cozy up, under a nice warm blanket with some hot tea this weekend and chill out.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I'm the exact opposite. We are walking into the busiest season with our kiddos and sports, and we are coaching a lot of teams, my husband and I together.
That's fun.
Yes, it's really fun. And I feel like the past 2 years, I sign up for it. Like, it's my choice. And I'm always like, I'm so busy. And I told myself, no, I'm not gonna like give into that.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're in such a sweet season with our kids that it's like, I'm like welcoming the chaos, and that it's like, hey, it's great. Yes, it's for a season, and it doesn't have to be a negative thing. And so Johnny and I are both just trying to remind each other of that it's like we're choosing joy in the crazy of
That's awesome.
little kid basketball. So
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of a thing we talk about around here a lot, choosing joy, the perspective shift. So,
yes.
All right. Well, we will encourage everybody to enjoy the life God gave them this week, and we'll see you next time.
Yay. Bye.
Thanks so much for spending time with us today on That's Why We're Friends.
We hope you laughed, felt encouraged, and are walking away with a little more hope for your day.
If you love this episode, make sure to follow the podcast so you never miss what's next.
And share it with a friend who needs a little encouragement, because that's why we're friends.
Some products or services we mention may be paid promotions. Any advice shared should be confirmed with a qualified professional. Our conversations and opinions are meant for encouragement and entertainment only.